Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and you're enjoying the series. We're kind of entering the home stretch here. We've got like 3 weeks left in Revelation. This week we jumped ahead a little bit. As I explained on Sunday, we've got women's retreat in 2 weeks, and I didn't want to do the best part of the book on women's retreat weekend because I knew a lot of people would be out, and so we jumped ahead to Revelation 21 this week. That was our main text, so Revelation 21 into chapter 22 verse 5. And so make sure that you take a moment to read that as a group. Two big ideas. The first one is that the end of the world, according to Revelation at least, really isn't the end of the world. It's not some demolition and evacuation project, but rather the end of the world, according to Revelation, is this redemption and renovation project. That's not the destruction of the world, but the fulfillment and consummation and celebration of everything that the world was originally intended to be. Second big idea was that Revelation is this really kind of bewildering combination of like savagery on the one hand and then revelry on the other hand. You've got this brutality, but then you've also got this joy and optimism and hope, and these things just sit kind of side by side throughout Revelation, as you've probably noticed. So first two questions, remember the same every week. First one is, what was most interesting or encouraging to you from the sermon this week? Second question is, what was most challenging? What raised questions for you? What did you not understand? What did you maybe not agree with? Question number 3, and this is what I really would want us to spend most of our time discussing, is I want you to discuss this idea, big idea number 1, that the end of the world is not the end of the world. It's not the demolition of the world. It's not an evacuation project, but rather it is the fulfillment of everything the world was meant to be. We noted that in the end, God doesn't just throw away everything that He's made. God doesn't make all new things, but rather God makes all things new. And so how does that jibe with what you've been taught about heaven? And just how does that strike you, this idea? The end of the world is not the end of the world. Question number 4, how do you make sense? How do you think we best make sense of this weird mix of optimism and kind of terrorism that just sits side by side in Revelation throughout the book? Our action step this week, it's a bit metaphorical, but it was to plant an apple tree. And you could literally do that if you wanted to, but what I'm referring to is, of course, this famous quote from Martin Luther, who, when asked what he would do if the world was going to end tomorrow, said that he would plant an apple tree, with the big idea being he would do something like that, good, simple, meaningful work and action, because it'll have a place in God's new world. Because, again, God's new world is just the fulfillment of all the good and beautiful things that we've done here. And so go out to the world this week and do good, simple work, knowing that it's not meaningless, it's not going to get thrown in the trash can, but it's going to find a place in God's new world one day. So I hope that makes for some good discussion, and you're enjoying the series. A few weeks left, and I will see you on Sunday.